What's up, my comic comrades? Today we start covering a brand new series, and that would be Nightwing. More specifically, Tom Taylor's Nightwing run, which starts with issue 78 of Nightwing. For those of you who are unaware, Tom Taylor is one of DC's best writers right now. He's given us several massive hit series like the Injustice comics and the Deceased Universe, writing every single one of those titles. Needless to say, when he was announced to be the next writer to take on Nightwing, I got just a little bit excited that one of my favorite writers is now writing one of my all-time favorite characters. With that said, we're going to break down his first two issues of Nightwing with part 1 and part 2 of the story arc titled Leaping into the Light. But first, we want to thank Darkfire Heroes for sponsoring today's episode. That, my comic comrades, is the crazy fun new mobile RPG, Darkfire Heroes. It's completely free to play, and you can download it right now via our link in the description of this video. When you play Darkfire Heroes, you collect, upgrade, and play as powerful common, rare, and epic heroes. And as you can see, there are a ton of awesome heroes to choose from. But as you grow your roster, you'll battle your way through armies of deadly monsters and ghouls in this non-stop real-time strategic RPG that's out to change the way mobile RPGs are played. In Darkfire Heroes, you'll face unimaginably tough bosses that test your skills, but also give you awesome rewards. Not to mention, you can battle your friends in the real-time PvP arena and claim your title as the true Darkfire hero. And who doesn't love a good PvP battle? Just click our link in the description below to download the game for free, and you will receive a special new player welcome bonus, including an adventure chest on your very first day. If you're looking for a fast-paced RPG, then download Darkfire Heroes now, choose your hero, slay the bad guys, and don't hesitate to come join us in the Variant Clan. Again, Darkfire Heroes is completely free on Android and iOS. So use our download link in the description and receive a special reward once you're up and running. So come join the fun, and we'll see you on the battlefield, my friends. But now it's time to find out what's going on with Nightwing, starting with issue 78. Issue 78 starts off in Gotham Heights Park several years ago with Dick narrating saying, "I've always disliked bullies." As we see bullies push some kid into the snow with a redheaded girl running up to them saying, "Leave him alone." The girl then grabs the blonde-haired boy by the arm, which he says, "You got a problem, girl?" And she says, "Yeah, I do." As Nightwing narrates saying, Shelton Lyle, where perfect teeth met privilege. He came from money. His dad owned an insurance company renowned for not paying out. People paid for a safety net, then Shelton's dad took that away from them when they needed it most. He had it all and expected to always get his way because he always had. A voice then yells to Shelton saying, "Hey." Shelton replies, "Seriously? You really want to butt in, Dick?" As we see a young Dick Grayson stand up to him on the next page. We see Nightwing continue to narrate saying, "Bullies didn't get to me personally. After Tony Zuko killed my parents, there wasn't much left that could hurt me. And let's face it, you need thick skin to go through life with the name Dick." Shelton was raised to believe hurting people was something to aspire to. Shelton then tells Dick, "Yeah, I know who you are. I caught your last act at the circus. Best thing I've ever seen. The Flying Graysons. Guess they couldn't fly after all." I just have to pause for a second because what a douche. This isn't even a real person, and I want to punch him straight in the face. Anyway, Dick just replies, "Walk away. Leave the kid alone." At which point Shelton gets in Dick's face saying, "Are you stupid?" Dick then tells him, "At least I can count. I assume you can't. Otherwise, you'd know you've had 3-on-1 here." And that's pretty pathetic. At which point Shelton gets extremely pissed and starts attacking Dick, but Dick uppercuts him with the back of his head. This leads to a huge fight, one where ultimately the cops show up. Shelton then says, "Cops? Oh, you're in so much trouble now. My dad owns the police." At which point the redheaded girl says, "You think they'll listen to you over me?" "What do you think, Dad?" As we see Commissioner Gordon come up behind her, meaning this little girl is of course Barbara Gordon. After Gordon reprimands Shelton and his friends, he takes Dick back to his home at Wayne Manor, where Barbara says, "Whoa, you live in this castle?" Dick says no, well, kinda. Barbara continues to ask, "Do you have a dragon and a moat? Do your dishes spontaneously break out in musical numbers?" To which of course he keeps saying no to. Then once he gets out of the car, Barbara tells him, "It was nice to meet you, Dick. If you ever get locked in the tower and you need to be rescued, just send your fairy godmother to find me." It's a really funny back and forth, and it also alludes to this is the first time that Barbara and Dick ever met. As Grayson goes inside to help Alfred wash dishes, Nightwing is still narrating to himself about this past event, saying, "I knew Bruce was going to be angry, but Bruce wasn't home." He then goes to apologize to Alfred for getting into a fight, saying there was a kid. They were hurting him. "I'm sorry, Alfred." Alfred says, "Master Bruce may feel you should only be a hero while wearing a costume, but I'm glad Grayson steps up when someone's in need. It takes a different hero to help without a mask." And with that, we're finally brought back to the present, where we see Nightwing jumping across rooftops in Bloodhaven. On the streets, we see several jocks chasing a puppy and kicking him like a soccer ball for fun. While Nightwing narrates, Bloodhaven doesn't have the madness of Gotham City, it's just cruel. And the problem is, cruelty teaches cruelty. As we see the puppy just sitting there whimpering from just being kicked by those idiots. Nightwing then just walks up to the dog saying, "You know, I'd usually open up with something disarming and witty, but then I'm not usually this disgusted. One of the jocks says, "We're just having fun, man." And Dick says, "Your idea of fun is torturing small animals? You need to broaden your horizons, people. Find something less destructive. Maybe catch a movie. Take up ice skating." At which point one of the jocks pulls out a gun to shoot the dog right in the face. But good old Nightwing just knocks the gun out of his hand before beating the crap out of all the jocks, with them running away being scared. But like, you're also trying to tell me the jocks didn't know who Nightwing was? Of course they did, meaning they thought they could defeat someone who fights villains like the Joker, Scarecrow, and Mr. Freeze almost on a nightly basis. But then again, there's not much up there considering their idea of fun is kicking around cute defenseless animals. After this, Grayson takes off his gloves and says to the puppy, "It's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you," but the puppy bites him, with him saying to himself, "Poor girl, has been through a lot, doesn't trust anyone. I remember that well." Right, well, to the vet for you and to the doctor for me, as he grapples away with the puppy. Elsewhere in Bloodhaven, we see the villain Blockbuster meet up with the mayor under a bridge. Blockbuster then tells the mayor, "I'm not happy, Mr. Mayor." The mayor responds, "I do have office hours, Roland, and an office. Meeting up under a bridge feels like a certain way to attract trolls." Blockbuster then tells the mayor, "A number of my operations have stagnated, Mr. Mayor." Then the woman that came with the mayor looks at Blockbuster's suitcase full of paperwork saying, "You have spreadsheets?" Really putting the organized in organized crime here. Blockbuster then tells her, "Don't pretend to be shocked by a well-run operation, Miss Council President. I know who your family are. I know where you've come from." The mayor then tells Blockbuster, "This is your business, Blockbuster. What do you expect me to do?" He tells him, "I expect you to do as you were told, but you failed me," as he grabs the mayor by the head and kills him by crushing his head with his mammoth-sized hand. Blockbuster then tells the councilwoman the mayor's body won't be found. As council president, you are next in line, Melinda. Your job is to serve the city. I am the city. Do you understand?" She answers, "Of course." Blockbuster continues to say, "I've spoken to your father. He's a killer, but not a liar. I understand the two of you are estranged. Nonetheless, Tony spoke highly of you. Congratulations, Mayor Zuko." So as Councilwoman Melinda becomes the new mayor, we find out she's the daughter of Tony Zuko, the man who killed Dick Grayson's parents. Elsewhere, we see Grayson head back to his place with the puppy in a crate with 6 stitches and a vet bill that hurts more than the bite. He then looks up at his apartment building saying, "The whole apartment block is mine. I bought it years ago back when I had Wayne money, but that's long gone now. I'm running out of cash and I don't even want to think about putting up the rent." If you weren't aware, Batman and the whole Bat family lost the Wayne fortune during the Joker War, so that's why Dick is broke. As he continues to look at his apartment building, he notices the light on in his apartment, and he says to himself, "Something's wrong. Someone's in my apartment." He then puts his Nightwing costume on and leaps into the apartment, but someone grabs him by the arm and slams him up against the wall. But then on the next page, we see it's Barbara Gordon saying, "Surprise," as she helps him up saying, "There's something I need to share with you." She then hears a dog bark and says, "We're 3 stories up." He says, "Yes." To which she says, "And does Bloodhaven have flying dogs?" He tells her, "I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing I've ever encountered in the city." As he picks up the puppy that he saved earlier, she freaks out asking what the dog's name is, before saying, "Yeah, you're definitely keeping this dog. There's no way you're giving it to the pound." He's like, "No, I'm not keeping it." She tells him, "Ha, sure. You're so well known for turning your back on innocent creatures in need." Anyway, Barbara goes back to what she was going to tell him earlier, saying, "As Oracle, I was chosen to be executor of Alfred Pennyworth's will." He says, "Right," while taking off his mask. She then says, "You missed the reading," which is because at the time he had a brain injury and didn't know who the heck he was. Either way, she tells him, "Dick, you should take a seat. This is, well, it's gonna be a lot to take in," as she hands him a laptop. While reading, he says, "I don't understand." She then says to him, "I'm not surprised. It's a whole lot of zeros." He then looks at Barbara saying, "He was?" She answers saying, "He was." He then asks, "Why would a billionaire make sandwiches and do my washing?" She then smiles at him and says, "For the same reason a billionaire would fight crime in Gotham. It's what he wanted to do." Barbara then hands Dick a note from Alfred saying, "This may explain it better. I haven't opened it." As he's reading it, we learn that Alfred was a billionaire because of the money he inherited from being Bruce's legal guardian, as well as investing much of it wisely and ethically. We also learn that Alfred left his fortune to Grayson because, as he says, he couldn't think of better hands to leave his fortune to, as he believes Dick will not see this as a personal gain, but rather as an opportunity, because he believes in Dick Grayson. And as the letter ends, Alfred tells Dick, "And above all, though we rarely say it out loud, I am very proud to call you my son." Which, I gotta be honest, hits me right in the feels, but also Dick is a billionaire now. Who knew that freaking Alfred was a billionaire? That's pretty crazy. Anyway, on the last page of the issue, we are taken to Upper Bloodhaven, where we see Melinda arrive at her apartment, where she tells one of her friends, "This city is mine. I am mayor." Her friend asks, "Are you ready for this?" Melinda tells her, "I am." Her friend then asks again, "What about Grayson?" Melinda answers, "I'm not ready for him yet." Her friend says, "You can't wait too long. You may not get another chance." Then Melinda looks at a Flying Grayson's poster with Dick's face circled, as she says, "I know. Soon." And just like that, this leads us to issue 79. Issue 79 picks up with us seeing the evolution of Grayson over the years, while he's jumping off of a rooftop. He says to himself, I've spent my life working without a safety net. We then get a 2-page spread where we continue to see Grayson's evolution over the years while he continues to narrate, saying, because I've always had someone to catch me if I fell. My parents, as we see him with the flying Graysons. My father, as we see Bruce pick him up off the ground. My other father, as we see Alfred ask him if he'd like something soothing to eat. My friends, as we see him with the Teen Titans. And my brothers, as we see him running alongside his fellow Robins. Before he finally says, we all need someone to catch us when we fall, someone to make us feel safe, as we get a panel of Barbara Gordon, who's sitting in Dick's apartment, petting his new puppy. Dick then asks Barbara, are you hungry? She says, yup. He then stands up and says, come on, I know a place nearby, as we see he takes her to Marvin and George's 24-hour pizzeria. Grayson says, 2 slices, please. Barbara then tells him, seriously? He asks what? She tells him, you're a billionaire now. He's like, right. 4 slices, please. They then take their pizza and go to a park where Dick wanted to show her a statue that's at the center of a water fountain. It's a statue of a sailor fighting the Kraken. Dick then tells Barbara, Bloodhaven started as a whaling town. This fountain was built back when people in the city believed that they could take on monsters and win. I like that it's still standing. As they're eating their pizza staring at the statue, Grayson tells Barbara, I want to do more, and with everything Alfred left me, I guess I can. But I'm not sure where to focus. She then tells him, well, you're one of the world's greatest problem solvers, so I'm sure you'll work it out. Grayson tells her, I've always thought Batman could have done more as Bruce Wayne. Barbara tells him, I'm sure he would have loved that insight. Dick then says, oh yeah, Bruce loves personal criticism. At this point, a homeless man and his son say, excuse me, sorry to bug you, but could you spare some change? Barbara answers saying, I don't really carry cash. The father replies, most people don't these days. Thanks anyway. Dick then tells the man, wait. Let me buy you some food, lots of food, and whatever else you need. And invite friends. I mean, anyone you know in the area who could do with a meal. Don't hold back. The more the merrier. Then on the next page, we see Grayson buy a bunch of less fortunate people pizza and French fries. Some kids then ask Dick if they could take their pizzas to go. He says, of course. He then puts the father and son up at Bloodhaven's 3 Seasons for a month, but says he'll check in after that to see what else he could arrange. Then on the next page, he goes, oh no, I think those kids took my wallet. Barbara says, whoa. And as Dick is frantically looking around, he says, never tell Batman about this. But she says, too late. I already put it in the group chat. At which point he says, come on. And Barbara says, you might want to put that phone on silent. Cass has no self-control when it comes to emojis. Elsewhere, we see that the father and son Dick helped out are walking in an alley. And as they're walking, a voice calls out to them saying, that looks like good pizza. The father says, do you want a slice? The voice responds, it's more of a stab than a slice. At which point this mysterious person points some sort of gun at the father saying, tell your kid to run. Of course the father does, telling his son, it's gonna be okay. This mystery person says, it's not gonna be okay. As the gun starts to light up red, the father says, please, I don't have anything. And the person says, you have exactly what I want, as he fires the gun at the father's chest, finishing his sentence saying, you had a heart. As we see that the gun put a hole in the man's chest, seemingly taking his heart. Elsewhere, Dick and Babs are back at his apartment where he suits up as Nightwing to track down the kids who stole his wallet. Because he's Nightwing, so of course there's a tracker in his wallet. Before he goes out, Barbara puts a domino mask on Dick that'll allow her to see whatever he sees. After doing his Nightwing thing, doing acrobatics off of rooftops, he finally tracks down the kids who just so happen to be near Boss Maroney. Dick tells Barbara that Maroney is talking to a woman he doesn't recognize. But besides Blockbuster, Salvatore Maroney is the most powerful criminal in the city. We then get a panel where we see Maroney is talking to Melinda, the new mayor, and Tony Zuko's daughter, who we met last issue. Maroney's basically like, so you're the new mayor now? She's like, yeah. As the 2 kids who stole Dick's wallet now steal Maroney's wallet. At which point his enforcers or bodyguards see it and say, hey, hold on, and start chasing the kids with guns. But of course, Nightwing can't let Maroney's men kill kids, so he leaps into action with an awesome double-page spread. After he beats the crap out of them, he says to himself, this is a whole lot simpler than working out how to deal with being a billionaire. Oracle then says, Dick, you go after the kids, I'll call the police. Dick says, there's no point. They're Maroney's men. They won't be charged. She tells them they were about to kill children. He says, I know, and they're still gonna walk away. She says, I'm still calling the police. Oracle out. Grayson ultimately tracks down the kids who stole his wallet to a tent city for homeless people, but he says to himself, by the looks of it, no one here is over 16. They're all just kids fending for themselves, as they all look at him desperately. One of the little girls then asks, are you him? He says, who? She answers, the man without a heart. Please don't hurt us. He says, I'm not, I'd never, I'm sorry. Keep what you took. You need it more than, just keep it. As he grapples away, he says, Bloodhaven never fails to hurt me. He then meets up with Oracle on top of a rooftop where she says, you were right about the police. They did nothing. He says, yeah. She then says, I don't know how you put up with this place. Did you get your wallet? He answers, no. He then tells her, but I know what I'm gonna do with the money. She says, really? He says, yeah. I want to be a safety net for the city. I want to catch the people who have fallen. Then on the last page of the issue, we see the villain from earlier stand over the corpse of the father that he killed with a caption saying, next. heartless. And just like that, we have the first 2 issues of Tom Taylor's Nightwing run. I'm really enjoying this thus far. I love the fact that it's basically going to be about Nightwing making his city better. And not just by fighting crime, but by actually helping people as Dick Grayson with the money he inherited from Alfred. Speaking of money, it's really cool that now Dick is a billionaire and not Bruce Wayne. It's an interesting contrast. I mean, Dick has always had money because of Bruce, but now he straight up has his own money due to Alfred. I also feel like it's inevitable that this is how Bruce is going to get his fortune back with the help of Dick. Either way, I'm liking this series thus far. If you're a Nightwing fan, I say it's a definite must read. It's only 2 issues in thus far, but it has a whole lot of heart. But like I always say, that's just my 2 cents. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. First up for the week of the 27th, we have Detective Comics issue 1035, introducing Mr. Worth. When his daughter is killed during a brutal crime wave gripping Gotham City, 8-foot-tall stack of muscle and money Ronald Worth sets out on a path of revenge toward the prime suspect of crime, Batman. Now we have Star Wars Darth Vader issue 11. Writer Greg Pak continues to do a great job on this series, and in this issue, Vader stands on the verge of uncovering the Emperor's greatest secrets. Next we have Spawn issue 317. Spawn comes to terms with new allies as well as new threats. It's a story that allies Spawn with several other Spawns, and I'm digging it. And finally, we have Robin issue 1. After learning of the Deadly League of Lazarus tournament, Damian Wayne has a new mission: to win the tournament and prove he is the greatest fighter in the DC universe. But first, he must find the secret island where the tournament is being held. And just like that, that's going to bring today's episode of Variant to a close. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to check out this one right here to my left. And if you like all of our content, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.